Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Legacy Cafe podcast with your host, Rob Lucy. Rob is the author of the book, How Will You Be Remembered? A Guide for Creating and Enjoying Your Legacies Now. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and find yourself a seat in the Legacy Cafe. Here's Rob.
Thanks, Kathy. Hello, everybody. I'm Rob Lucy, and thanks for joining us at the Legacy Cafe. I'm just wondering if you have a box in the garage or the attic of old media, old film or video or audio or pictures, and you haven't seen them for a long, long time because technology's changed. I mean, who's looking at VHS anymore or 8mm film? Not many of us, but all those stories, all those family memories, they're there in that box. What the heck do we do with them now? How do we get to see them so we can preserve those memories and pass them on? My guest now is McKay Murdoch. McKay is with a company called Legacy Kit. He's in St. George, Utah. Hello, McKay.
Hey, Rob. Thanks so much for having me.
Tell me, let's go to that box, first of all. What could be in that box? What kind of technology, old stuff could be there that I haven't seen for 20, 30 years?
Oh, everybody's box is pretty much the same. You've got a smattering of every generation of film and photos, slides, 8mm film, 16mm, anything as far as your old home movies goes, they're in there.
If I had a fire in the garage, it's gone.
Yeah, there's always that question, there's a fire, what do you grab besides your kids and your pets,
Everybody grabs the albums, usually.
Yeah, everybody says their photo albums, their movies, those are the treasures that you can't live without. It's your life history on there, all those memories that are so hard to remember until you see the photo, until you see the video, so that's definitely the valuable thing. We talk about our most prized possession. That's one of them.
So inside that box, let's say I've got some old 8mm film, I've got some stills, I've got some old audio cassettes. Is there anything that can harm or ruin them so that they are finally gone?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's usually been so long since people have opened this box of treasures that the last 10 to 15 years has been really hard on them in the degradation process. Magnetism wears out and goes away. We're past the projected lifespan of almost every one of these media types, so it's really kind of borrowed time. And
I've heard film can get a coating on it or some sort of virus of some sort, and then it's really toast.
That's absolutely right. It's a mouthful. You ready for it? It's cellulose acetate decomposition. It's this crazy chemical reaction that can occur on your film without getting too technical on you. It releases gases, changes the chemical composition. Basically, snowflakes appear on your film, and it's irreversible. You can't stop it once it starts, so it's definitely important to get it done before that happens.
So here's my goal. In that box, I've got tons of great stories, family stories, events, weddings, and there's film of them, there's video of them, there's pictures of them, but I can't see any of them because it's old technology. And I don't want to lose them in a fire, and I want to share these stories. What's my next step? I think you're going to say we convert them to digital. What's the difference between analog and digital?
Yeah, so basically your analog to digital conversion is taking that physical box of all the films, photos, videotapes, and turning it into a digital file that can be stored on a DVD, it can be stored on a flash drive, you can upload it in the cloud, you can edit it and create, you just have access to so many tools these days, apps and software, that you can create these wonderful masterpieces from your old memories that it's really amazing what can be done once they're digital.
The history of my family, the stories we had, the events we all laugh at now are back to life and on the screen.
Yeah, and that kind of brings to mind the why we are doing this.
Once it becomes digital, and I've got my 14-year-old nephew editing them because I don't quite get it yet, but some of this stuff would be great gifts. All these old stories that have been gone away would be great gifts to give to collect and give during the holiday season.
Absolutely. It is the once-in-a-lifetime gift. You're not going to have to do anything with it after this as far as digitizing. It's the one-time thing. You get it all digital, and then you can share it and edit it.
And once it's digital, is it good to go forever?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of digital is you can store it and copy it just with the click of a button. You can upload it to the cloud, and then you're really backed up forever. You're not going to lose it ever, but it's digital, and so copies, it's not like a VHS where a copy of a copy, degrades. It's digital, so it's lossless, and the copies and giving it out to friends and family.
And as far as legacy stories go, of course, we're the Legacy Cafe. I mean, so you say you get some old film footage that you can get digitized. So now you can see your great-great-grandfather and grandmother. And then there's the wedding of Betty back in 42. And then there was the communion of the kids back in 64. I mean, all these great stories, and cutting them together and sending them down the line, then we can tell our descendants of 200 years from now, here's who we were, here's what we did, here's what we looked like.
It's really fun to see the customers' reactions and hearing the stories and the feedback and comments. One funny thing is a lot of times we'll see the mannerisms. So let's say you have this couple, they have all their home movies from the 70s, and so they have their kids that are 4 and 5 walking around, and then their current grandkids now are watching these films. Once we get them all digital, they're enjoying them. And the kids that are 7, 8 now, they look at their parents that are 7, 8 years old, and they love to see their parents in their same age, because there's not home movies anywhere like today. We've got home movies everywhere, but for these kids to see their parents at 7, 8, it's really fun to see their reaction, their excitement, and it's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they were laughing then. They'll be laughing in 200 years too, because they'll probably think they probably think we look a little weird. Tell me about now. I'm confident now. Then there's a method that I can turn that box in the garage into something, and I'm not going to lose the family stories, and the fire's not going to take them away, because we've got them on flash drive and in the cloud. So give me a brief description about what you guys do. What's the process of taking this box and making it forever?
Yeah, so we've got a revolutionary way of doing it, just taking all the worry and headache out of the customer's hands, because you want to get it done, but you don't know who to go with, how to do it. It feels like a daunting task, but it really is as simple as you pick which kit is going to work for you, which size. We have all sizes. We can handle the few little tapes all the way to a huge collection of 60 films and so forth. Yep. So you pick which kits work for you. We ship it out to you, and in this kit you'll have your easy guide instructions, your prepaid UPS shipping label with tracking, all of everything that you need to get started. Barcoded labels, personalized barcoded labels will be in there. Slap a label on all of your tapes or film reels, put them in the kit. And crush-proof boxes, that's another huge, put your mind at ease. Yeah, make sure, and they're double boxed as well. You have your legacy kit and then another crush-proof shipping box that it goes in. So, and once you're all done loading it up, you slap your UPS shipping label on there, drop it at a center, and it comes back to us for processing. And we do all the processing in-house here in southern Utah. There's no third-party transaction. We don't drop ship to India or Houston or wherever. A lot of places do that. They get your media and drop ship it, but we do it all in-house, and then it comes back to you a couple weeks later with all your original media plus your DVDs, and then optional thumb drive if you want to go that route as well, and so you can share it with the whole family.
So you got a system where, let me just try and review this so I think I've got it straight. You ship me a box with a bunch of material in it that I can put in my old media, whatever the heck it is, put barcodes on them all. I ship all that back to you. You convert it and then ship me my original stuff and flash drives and whatever I need, but everything now is in the digital domain, and I can stick it in my computer, throw it up to the cloud, and it's there forever.
Absolutely. Yep, you'll have DVDs of all your home movies, so your kids and grandkids can pop those in easily and watch them. And I always recommend upgrading to the flash drive as well, because then you've got a backup already, and it's so easy to just click and drag the files off the flash drive to upload them, to copy them, to edit them. That's definitely the way to do it.
So this is good, because I'm picturing, my eyes go out to my garage where I have probably 10 boxes of old media, and I would never I would be sick to see it disappear for some reason, a flood or a fire, or all those family gatherings gone, and how we looked when we were 16 and all the rest of it. Because we talked about just the emotional content this box of old media has, have you ever run across a story where it really hit home with a family when they did convert all that old stuff to something they could see?
Absolutely. I've got a kind of two-part story here. I'll start with the bad one first. My grandmother, in-law, so my wife's grandmother, unfortunately, before I was in the picture, they had a flood. Before we were married, they had a flood in their home, and they came home from vacation to their basement, and there was literally a trunk of, the steamer trunks from the early 1900s, and it had all their priceless stuff in there, and it was floating in there 3 or 4 feet of water in their basement, and everything was lost. All the photos, all the film, everything was ruined. So that was quite unfortunate. I was sad to hear about that one when I came.
Tell us a good story then.
I know, right? A little too much doom and gloom. Okay, so on the flip side, a couple years ago, these people bring in same type of steamer trunk, early 20s origin, those really cool trunks. Their great-grandmother just passed away, and they were cleaning out the attic. They found this trunk, and we were just going through it together. They didn't know what they were going to find in there, and as we were digitizing everything, come to find out we found this little packet of negatives that we digitized, and it was so cool to see their reaction when they started going through these pictures and realizing what they found. They had no idea their great-grandmother was an aspiring photographer. She had some amazing shots in there of family, of landscapes, of just beautiful photography from early 19-teens all the way up to the 50s, home movie film they had no idea. And so as it's digital, they were sharing it and getting it out with the family and sharing it to extended family. And they were getting all these responses. Oh, that's Uncle Ned. There's no pictures that we've seen of him, or all these really cool stories. It was a lot of fun to see the family come together in that time of grieving and just really bond together over these priceless memories that they found.
Great. We have a little contest going on, a story contest. The people who write stories, so I'd love to give one of them a really nice gift, and I'm thinking one of your packages. How do you feel about that?
I would love to. Any fan of Legacy Cafe is a fan of mine. So how about we do a free kit for a winner of your story contest?
That would be a great prize. I'd love to see that. Now that you got me going, there's some people that won't write a story, but I'd still love to let them know we can do something for them from the Legacy Cafe. So if they decide to use your services, can we give them a 5% off or something like that?
I'm not a story writer. I'm not much of a writer, so I want to make sure to give everybody a fighting chance. So how about we do a 10% off, just because I'm not a writer. So 10% off for anybody who would like to give us a shot and get all their stuff digital and enjoy those digital memories again. Okay.
Well, if people go to legacycafe.org/kit, they'll learn about this story contest we've got, and then McKay's offer of 10% off on anything you do with him. legacycafe.org/kit. McKay, thank you. I bet you're pretty busy most of the year, because I have a feeling that there's a lot of folks that don't want to lose those family memories and don't want to see that rushing into the fire in the garage to get the stuff out, and they want them to be able to share them so everybody can enjoy them. Especially, I get a kick out of it showing my descendants 200 years from now.
Yeah, everybody's got a box of old home movies and priceless treasures that they want to preserve their legacy and share. So we're definitely crazy busy, and we'd love to help out anybody that wants to take a look into their past and get it digital for the future.
Good. Thanks to McKay Murdoch out of St. George, Utah. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rob Lucy. We'll see you again on the Legacy Cafe.
Thanks for listening to the Legacy Cafe podcast. We have lots of great conversations coming your way. And by the way, if you want us to send you reminders that a new podcast is ready for you, go to legacycafe.org to subscribe. That's legacycafe.org. Have a great day, and remember, the coffee and conversations are always hot at the Legacy Cafe.